Hi everyone, welcome to Cre8 Art School online art classes. Through our art classes, students will enjoy painting, drawing, sculpture, printmaking, sewing, collage, and many more. Today we are going to look through Make Way for Ducklings by Robert McCloskey and create a salt dough duckling inspired by the book. This story is of Mr. and Mrs. Mallard Duck and their quest for finding the perfect home to raise their family. The Mallards finally decide on an island in the Charles River. From this island, the Mallards visit a policeman named Michael on the shore who feeds them peanuts every day. Soon enough, Mrs. Mallard hatches 8 ducklings named Jack, Cack, Lack, Mack, Knack, Oack, Pack, and Quack. After their father, Mr. Mallard, takes a trip, the rest of the family must venture off their safe island to meet him at the public gardens. With much help from Michael and the rest of the police force, they finally meet up with Mr. Mallard. They decide they love the public garden so much that they want to live there, and they live happily ever after. Inspired by this story is this salt dough duckling. This one's in regular dough form, and this yellow one is when we use the food dye to change the color of the dough. So we're going to be making this today. Okay, let's take a look at the supplies we're going to need to make this duckling. We'll need our salt dough. We'll need food coloring, specifically yellow and red. We'll need our duck template, which can be printed out. We'll need a pair of scissors to shape the tail, a ballpoint pen to make indents for the eyes. We'll need a toothpick to make the nostrils and the eyebrows, a straw to add texture to the wings, and finally, we'll need a pen to color in the eyes after they're cooked and a cookie sheet to cook it on. Okay, now you have all your supplies, and so we're going to start by coloring the dough. So first we're going to knead that a little bit, and that basically means just mush it around. We're going to take a little bit of white and set that aside for the eyes. Okay, now we're going to make almost like a little bowl to put the yellow, and I did about 5 drops of the yellow. And then what you're going to do is just knead that yellow in there. Don't worry if it spills a little bit. You can just pick that up or not. And just knead that yellow through. Don't worry if it's getting on your hands. It's easily washed off. Okay, let's speed that up as we're mixing. And feel free to add a little more yellow if you want to get that a little more vibrant. Okay, so now that we have that mixed, we're going to start making the different balls for the body, head, wings, and beak. So first, we're going to create that body ball, which is going to be about the size of a golf ball. You can place that right on the template. If you don't have a template, no worries. You can just use my comparison, a golf ball. The head is about the size of a quarter. So you can just roll that and place that on the template. And the 2 wings are about the size of a dime. And those you'll want to make sure those are about the same size. So when you place those on each side, those are even wings. So we're going to set a little of that yellow aside, just in case we need it. And we're going to add a drop of red to that last little bit of yellow and create that orange color. So we're going to knead that And we'll speed that up. Okay, got it all mixed up. Now we're going to just take a chunk, and this is a little bit smaller than a dime, about the size of a marble. And we're going to place that on the template. Okay, so you've got all of your different shapes. You've got your body, head, wings, and beak. Your hands are a little dirty, so let's go wash off. Now we have clean hands. Let's take that clay for the body and start shaping it into almost a teardrop shape. So it's going to be a little skinnier on one end, and we're going to curl that back end up so it's kind of like the tail curling up. We're going to take our scissors, separate that into 3 sections, and then we'll just soften those edges with our finger, just real gently. You can reshape that tail however you want. You could also take a toothpick and create deeper indents if you want. So now we're going to place that on our paper plate. Now we're going to take the dough for the head, and we can knead that a little bit and start shaping it into a smooth ball. You can also shape it into an oval shape with a peak on top if you want a little bit of variation for the head. Now we're going to place that on the body. Just give it a little push on there, and you'll see it just sets right on there. Okay, so now we're going to take that ballpoint pen, and we're just going to create 2 indents where the eyes are going to be. Next, we're going to take just a little bit of that extra yellow, and we're just going to create a couple little pieces of hair on the top of the duck's head. And I just made that kind of teardrop shape where it's a little bit thinner on one side, but literally you can create whatever kind of shape you want for the hair. You can make it long and skinny, you can make it 3 little balls. You can also take your toothpick and give that a little bit of a roll to adhere to the top of the head and help create those separations. As you can see here, just a cute little tuft of hair on top of the head. Now we're going to take those wing balls and just knead those a little bit. Get those ready, and you want to just make sure those are the same size so the wings are even on both sides. Okay. So now let's take that ball and roll it into, again, that teardrop shape. Then we're going to flatten it. So it's going to be not super flat, but just a flattened teardrop. And we're just going to put that on the side of the body. Push that a little bit on the base so that it sticks well. And do the same for the other side. And place that on the other side. Now we're going to add a little texture to that wing. So we're going to take our straw and create some, whoop, took a little tumble. I'll hold him steady from now on. So the straw is going to be used for texture, and what you can do is just hold it on a slight angle and create a half moon shape, just giving the wing a little feathered feel. You can also do it straight down and create a circle shape. You can also use a toothpick, the pen, the ballpoint pen, pretty much anything you want to create a texture. I just chose the straw. I thought it created a fun feather look. Hold him steady there again. So now we're going to take the orange beak dough and we'll knead that a little bit. And we'll create a little bit of a teardrop shape again, and we're going to flatten that slightly and take our fingers and pinch that one edge and attach it to the front of the head. You can take a toothpick and put a little pressure on the edges to help it attach. You can also use that toothpick to create the little holes in the beak and maybe some eyebrows too. Okay, we're getting close to done. For our final touch, we're going to take that original white that we had that we set aside, and we're going to create 2 tiny little balls for the eyes. And it's always good to try to keep these the same size so he doesn't have one big eye and one small eye. And you'll just place that right in those indents you made with the ballpoint pen. So we'll create that second one and place that in there. Oop. Place that in there. And as you can see, we've got our finished duckling. Now we're ready to bake the duckling. So we gently want to place them on the cookie sheet and adjust anything you need to adjust. You're going to preheat the oven to 250 degrees. Once the preheat is done, bake in the oven until dry and hard, about 2 hours. Allow the duckling to cool completely. Now your duckling is all baked and very hard. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that black pen and we're going to add the eyes. You can also use a thick Sharpie and just do 1 dot. I just chose the smaller, thin one to make it a little more detailed. Okay, I hope that you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon.